Hello and welcome to Sydney Visa. If you heard terms like state original nomination, Visa 190 or Visa 491, but you're still not sure how they'll connect or why so many good applications stall without nomination, this video is for you. Over the next few minutes, we'll demystify what nomination is and what it isn't, how the federal point system fits together with state programs, what a real search for nomination actually involves, and where most strong cases go wrong. So let's dive in. Imagine Australia's skill migration program as a national marketplace. The Commonwealth runs the marketplace itself. So points tested with rules about the age, English, skills and experience. But within that market, each state and territory has its own stalls where it can call out to the crowd and say, we need these skills here. That call out is a state nomination. It is a formal endorsement that your occupation is in demand in a particular state. It isn't a visa and it doesn't guarantee one, but it's often the key that unlocks the federal invitation to apply. Here is what that key does. For the skilled nominated visa, 190, a state's nomination adds 5 points to your SkillSelect total. It also carries a clear expectation that you'll live and work in that state. Usually for the first couple of years, 2 to 3, because that's the whole point of the nomination, of that state's endorsement for you. For the Skill Work Regional Provisional Visa, the subclass 491, nomination adds 15 points, and the 491 is a 5-year provisional visa with a pathway to permanent residency through Visa 191 later on. And it comes with the legal requirement to live, work and study in the designated regional areas. In other words, nomination is both a signal of demand and a selection mechanism. So states choose from the national pool of people who've made themselves visible in the federal system. To be visible, yes? So to be visible, you first prove you're genuinely skilled. That means getting the right skills assessment from the correct authority for your occupation, be that VETASS, CRA, ACS, Engineers Australia and so on. Then meeting the English requirement and calculating your points honestly across age, English, skill employment, qualifications and partner factors. With that foundation in place, you create an expression of interest in SkillSelect. Think of the expression of interest as a shop window, shop front. It lists your occupation, your point claims, and the jurisdictions you'd consider, so the states you'd like to potentially live in. It isn't the visa application and there is no fee. It is simply where states and the Commonwealth look when they are deciding whom to invite. Each state and territory then runs its own program inside that bigger marketplace. They publish criteria, they open and close streams as their annual allocations shift, and they focus on what local employers are struggling to fill. Some add a second step, a registration of interest or points style matrix like the ACTs, like the Canberra matrix, or a shortlist process. And that is to filter the expression of interest to a smaller group they can actually nominate and manage. If the state selects you, the federal system then issues the invitation to apply for the 190 and 491 visa, and your nomination points are locked into your total. That's when you move from signaling your interest to actually lodging an actual visa application with Home Affairs. People often imagine there is a single form somewhere marked apply to all states. In reality, searching for nomination is more like running a well-planned campaign. It starts with non-negotiables, as I mentioned before, confirming the correct occupation from the eligible list, securing the skill assessment, locking a valid English scores and making sure your points meet the federal pass marks. Remember, nomination points can make the difference between almost and eligible. From there, you map your profile into real estate criteria rather than abstract wish list. Every jurisdiction tunes its program differently. Some maintain broad occupation lists, others narrow them mid-year. Some allow offshore applicants, others prioritize people already working locally. Some require a job offer, some don't. They might require recent salary level or minimum points above a federal pass mark. The task is to find where you are competitive today and why. Once you know where you stand, you choose your streams and targets with open, and you target it with open eyes. Perhaps you're within reach of 190 in one state, but more realistically placed for a 491 across several regional programs. The choice is about trade-offs. Immediate permanence versus flexibility and speed, your genuine willingness to live regionally, and how each path shapes your timeline to permanent residency through 191. After the strategy comes evidence. Beyond the expression of interest, states want to see that you can settle and contribute to the economy. That might be employment proof, like contracts, payslips, statements of service, paired with the job-ready CV in Australian format, and targeted cover letters. It can also include practical settlement plans that show where you live, how you job hunt, and what ties you already might have in that state. Your past study or work in the state, the family connection, a lease or job leads. Graduates provide completion letters and transcripts with their diplomas and transcripts. Regulated professions might show steps that they've taken towards registration in that state. Execution is where many applications live or die. Your EOI, expression of interest, must be truthful and up to date. Employment dates and hours has to be correct. English tests valid on the day, qualifications matching the assessing authority's outcome, and anything you say in the registration of interest or state matrix must line up perfectly with your EOI, expression of interest. Inconsistency is a common reason for refusal, and there is nothing more avoidable than tripping over your own paperwork. Then there is waiting, except it shouldn't be passive. Programs open and close, allocations refresh, lists pivot. While what that happens, you build readiness, applying for roles in your targeted states or regions, talking to recruiters, preparing for interviews, taking registration steps if you're a nurse or electrician or something that requires registration. Or if you're already in Australia, you're considering a move to a regional area to meet a state's onshore work criteria. Timing matters. States often issue invitations in batches with tight deadlines to accept and provide documents. You need to watch for fresh rounds, new occupation lists, shifting points, thresholds, and new post or revised streams for graduates, high point profiles, or critical sector. When your number is called, so to speak, you act quickly and cleanly. All the while, integrity is your safety line. Never overclaim points, hours, or duties. If a job ends early, if your English test expires, if your circumstances change, you need to update your expression of interest immediately. A nomination or visa refusal based on incorrect claims isn't just a disappointment. It can trigger public interest issues that bars you from reapplying for a period. If you are nominated, you can deliver on the commitment you've made. With 190, that means a genuine intention to live and work in a nominating state for about 2 to 3 years. It isn't a federal visa condition, but ignoring it can create headaches for you and can sour things for future applicants connected to the same employer, for example, or representatives. With the 491, the obligation is legal. You must live and work in designated regional area for at least 3 years out of the 5 that you're given. And if you want to move a 191 permanent visa, you'll need to meet federal residence and taxable income requirements. So that basically means that you need to live and work and pay taxes in the nominating region for at least 3 years before you can apply for 191 visa. The pathway is clear, but it expects you to do exactly what you promised to do. So before we wrap, hold on to 3 simple truths. Nomination isn't the visa, but it is often the lever that moves you from a face in the shop window to an actual invitation. Programs are dynamic, windows open and close, so early readiness with assessments, English and evidence give you a real edge. And above all, consistency and honesty across your expression of interest, any state registration and the visa application matter more than any clever tricks. One accurate story told 3 times is what gets you noticed, nominated, and ultimately on the ground, living the life you planned. If you want to see where you are competitive right now, we at Sydney Visa can run an initial review, help you pick the right state and stream, build a robust evidence pack, and launch cleanly so you can hit your window of opportunity. The link to the free assessment question is in the description, so please fill them and an agent will have a look at them. So just subscribe to the channel, drop your occupation and target state in the comments and tell us what you want us to cover next. And we'll see you in the next video. Cheers from Down Under. Goodbye.